Hello, everybody. I'm Jackie Gartner, Marketing Manager at LiquidBit, and welcome to our vlog. To get things started, I've talked my coworker Adam into sharing a bit about himself, his cute pets, and a little bit about house music too. And for relevancy, of course, I'm going to be grilling him on some of the must-know basics of getting involved in building a game. All right, Adam. Hello. Meet Adam,
Hi.
LiquidBit's CTO. Thanks for joining me, Adam. One thing that Adam and I do chat a lot about are his cats. I don't see the little babes in the background today, but
yeah, I might be able to disturb them.
Oh, I hear one. Oh, hi.
Yes, she's
Okay.
not happy about that.
We're
the other
not
one's
gonna-
also sleeping, but yeah, I have two cats who have helped me through the pandemic greatly because instead of talking myself, I just make voices for them. So
Perfect. And what are their names?
Winnie and Newt.
Winnie and Newt. Well, we
yeah,
love Winnie.
Winnie I adopted from a friend, and Newt I got independently and is named after the little girl in Aliens.
So. Awesome. I love that. Very cool. Awesome. Well, it's good to have you and Winnie and Newt here today. How long have you been with LiquidBit, Adam? Because I actually was a contractor and you were here, and then I came full time, and you're one of the founding guys here, huh?
Yeah. So I think December will be 6 years that
Wow.
we've been doing this. So little over 5.5 years, I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there are 1,000 things we could talk about, but the whole point of our LiquidBit vlog is to keep it quick. And so we're just going to dive right in. And Adam, as broad as it may seem, where do you even start? Let's say you have an idea for a game, you have a team, and it's time to develop the game. What are those basic needs?
Yeah, I mean, my intro, I had not done any game development before me, Mike, and Matt decided to try this. So like my intro is a little different. Like it always seemed interesting, just was a bit daunting. What I would say is, like, if you want to do it and you have ideas, there is actually, like, yesterday a thread by Maddie Thorson, who did Celeste and Towerfall, which are two of my favorite games. She had something like this, just people asking questions, and there's a lot of great insight in there. If you have something, like, make it like scoped and try to like complete it, like, don't get bogged down. Like, if you have great ideas, like grand ideas, like large scale, like maybe work towards that. Like, a lot of times with side projects, I've always found the scale caused me to get bogged down. So I would just, find whatever you can do. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about whether, you're using like the right tech or whatever. Do whatever like lets you accomplish like what you want to go for. Yeah. So like I don't know the right answer to that, besides like just like do whatever helps you get your idea out of your head and you enjoy doing it. I think that's the important part.
Awesome. Well, and just from working with you and even LiquidBit, our whole name is about being fluid. And I know that being flexible is a huge part of it. And finding those answers, like you had mentioned, whether it's forums, there's always somebody out there who's been there who could probably help you through it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, use whatever resources you can find. And, doing some events in Chicago have led us to like great people we've worked with, like Bryce, who's been with the team for, God, I don't know, 3 years now. Like, nice. So like, but we met him through an event. We were showing the game, but there's probably game dev communities out there in your area, and leverage that, like make contacts like the best you can. Like, it's always hard to do something like this just and feel isolated. It's really easy to give up then. So find others, and you'll realize your problems are shared by many, and like leverage others that have gone through it. Yeah.
And, I don't think there is a framework, and certainly something I've learned from watching my dev team from the outside is there are no timelines. You really can't pick precise things. Now, would you say that's true, or do you think when you're building a game, you can set yourself some hardcore deadlines to publish a game?
I mean, I think having things like goals you work towards are good. There's going to be times when you're, if you're working under a contract or an agreement to launch on a platform, you have to hit those. But like if you're just getting started, like set goals, but don't beat yourself up if you don't make them. Like that's part of it. And like the main thing is just don't let yourself discourage yourself. Like,
I like that. I like it. Now, would you say your programming and wanting to get into games is because you've played games before, or was that just something that your background led towards, the tech of building games?
My background didn't lead to this in any way. It like the idea of doing it sounded really fun, and it was a different style of programming I've ever done before, which was really cool, like especially when like you've been doing like web apps. Like my background is like web and mobile. Like, it can get stagnant. And so like this was really exciting to like jump into. So
Awesome.
It wasn't because I played games, I always wanted to build a video game. I always saw that as something I wouldn't be able to do. But the opportunity came out and challenge, I guess, is a better way to put it. And it sounded exciting. And so it was fun. It was nerve-wracking at first, but I'm glad I did it. And
awesome.
I definitely learned a lot from it. So
Sweet. Well, that's kind of a good segue into our rapid fire portion of the interview, which is really all about software suggestions. Give as much detail or as little as you want, but just so our viewers know kind of what Adam is using. Here we go. Adam, software. What are you using right now to build games?
Well, we used Unity. We're working on a new game, and we're doing it in Unreal, just to not make our lives easier. We wanted to try something new. Other than that, I don't use a lot of outside software. I don't do a lot of modeling or any modeling. It's not sugar.
You never know.
I don't do any.
Never say never.
So mainly it's like Visual Studio, VS Code. Doesn't really matter as long as I can build and debug and it has Vim support. That's like the one thing I really care about is
awesome.
It's a old school editor, but like I can't function without it. So
good hot tip there. Is that primarily like an indie dev thing, or is that?
Oh no, that was like before I went to college. My older brother, who's a programmer, gave me a Linux book and said learn Vim, and I did, and it's just a like. There's like editor wars between people about which one's better than the other, and it doesn't matter. Whatever makes you comfortable and makes you most effective, and that's just what I got ingrained in me, and so I can't work without it. So that's
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, whatever works for you.
Yeah. Would you say that's your favorite kind of?
It's my favorite. Like I can't function well without it. Like editing code, like I just can't. Yeah.
Awesome. So what is hot and new right now? Like when you look at some of these AAA studios or the games that are really catching steam, what are they using, and what is kind of the hot software right now in game?
I mean, the biggest thing, especially working in Unreal lately, is Unreal 5 and like some of their tech stacks, which I don't really. Again, it's outside of like, I'm not that visual of a guy, which maybe doesn't make game dev the best choice. But like, Nanite and Lumen, a lot of things Unreal 5 has to offer. And again, that's not to say use Unreal over Unity. Like Unity can do great stuff as well. So, but that's kind of like, my main focus has been on what can we apply now. And those are, switching to Unreal 5 and then, being able to leverage that, or the people on my team to leverage that is the most exciting to me.
Very cool. So where are you learning these new tools? You mentioned a little bit about the team and a little bit about forums earlier, but is there a space within even Unreal that you're doing tutorials, or where are you learning about these new tech?
Yeah, I mean, learning from the team, like Mike, the other like main dev, obviously, Matt's always got his finger on the pulse. I learned a lot from them, but Unreal wise, I follow the game dev subreddit, the Unreal subreddit, so I'll see things there. And
Awesome.
following people on Twitter, like other game devs you respect, like that Maddie Thornton I mentioned, like Towerfall and Celeste are two of my favorite games. So
Awesome.
I'll follow them, just like dig into following people on Twitter that might be of interest or work in, like, whether it's a game designer, a programmer, just try to like keep your finger on the pulse there and dig into things that they might mention that seem interesting. There's a Discord for Unity or Unreal, like, and I've gotten like anytime I post in places like that, I don't expect feedback or like help, and I've gotten actually really good feedback from the
Awesome.
Unreal Slackers, which I think is a carryover from a Slack to a Discord name, but either way, like I was surprised to get as much help as I have there, which
That's
is
awesome.
great. So
I mean, I did not bait you to say this, but that's what I thrive on, are all these community conversations, and whether it's following people you admire on Twitter or joining in the conversation on Discord, whether you're learning how to build a game or anything out there, definitely learning from your peers and other users, I think is really the trend. Would you say you learn more from your peers and other users than you do from actual support systems, from
yeah,
technology or software?
yeah. I mean, most of the time, yeah, it's a lot of community, especially like with Killer Queen. Like it's hard to test an 8-person game
Yeah.
and find certain scenarios. And when people can be like, it consistently happens then, your initial response is, I can't make it happen. Like I can't reproduce that. But when it keeps happening, you're like, there must be something there. And especially with Killer Queen, everyone's willingness to like help debug stuff
Yeah.
was just crucial. Like there were so many hard bugs that like we would have never noticed.
Right.
We brush off at first, but the steps and things they notice to reproduce it is so helpful. Like,
Awesome.
so
So keep those coming. Just teasing. Don't.
yeah,
No, is it a bug? Is it a feature?
yeah, or is it both, or a bug that
Yeah.
became a feature?
Exactly. There you go. Cool. Well, that was rapid-ish fire. And I think, Adam, you gave us a lot of foundation. You could see some of the handles that I've been popping in the video, so you can follow some of those devs, as well as some of the games that Adam likes. But what I really care about, and why I chose Adam first, is because, as remote teams, it is sometimes hard for us to connect. We've got these class twos. We try to play ping pong, but our schedules are crazy. And really what keeps us going is sharing a meme or two, but also music. And Adam, I don't want to offend anyone else on our team, but I would say you have the best taste in music. So
Thank you,
let's
Jackie.
give it up for Adam, and everybody thank Adam for sharing his mixes. Adam not only just shares bands and groups that he likes, he also shares mixes that he does because he is a DJ. So without further ado, Adam, I'm going to give you a minute just to give me a little rundown here. So first, what do you listen to when you make games?
Not stuff I DJ.
Like, tell us more about that. What's the difference?
Part of the reason is like I would go and just like, go to a radio of an artist or whatever. I found it distracting because I would get caught up on like a track that I want to make a note of, like, either to buy it later so I can like DJ with it. And it was distracting to me.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of early on in Killer Queen. I noticed that. Like other jobs, I guess it was easier to like take a break to do something like that, but it would kind of interrupt like the flow of working. And So I kind of stopped doing that. So like I don't really listen to anything I DJ, like style wise,
Yeah.
like genre wise, when I'm working.
Okay. Do you
One of
listen to
my
anything when you're working, or
yes,
just
I do.
straight
Yes.
Power Glove the whole
No,
time?
no, like my go-to is like usually start off with The Current, which is radio station in Minnesota, which is
Oh, cool.
fantastic.
Awesome.
Which is I'm from Minnesota.
Okay, cool.
But it's just a really good blend. I think I've turned like Matt onto it. You know, we
Awesome.
used to when we were in the same location and office, we used to just put that on. So that's like my go-to to start. Sometimes I'll put on like the Elder Scrolls like soundtrack. So like
Awesome.
kind of more epic like fantasy stuff. I don't know.
Cool.
It just allows me to fall into a zone. Other than that, like if I'm under like a deadline and I need like kind of, you know, a power mix, I'll do The Offspring. I don't know why.
I
It's
love
just like
that.
it's just a go-to for me. Like, it's
Nice.
really weird, but I always have it there. And I know for the Xbox release, I played that a lot because it would be late nights and it worked for me. So
That's awesome. I love it. So what are you spinning then? If that's kind of keeping you focused at
uh,
work, what can we hear when we see Adam out playing?
I'm all over the place. You know, lately I've been digging into like more classic Chicago house.
Nice.
But I like a lot of like kind of breaky, you know, breaky two step or like lighter techno. Like I like techno at parties that I go to, but
Okay.
I can't just sit and listen to it while I'm working.
True.
It's a little bit much for me.
Yes.
But like I still love it. I mean, I don't like to like narrow myself into a genre. Really.
It's a really good point though too. You know, you have some kind of focused music and then you have what you like when you're not spinning and then when you're spinning. I'm very similar in the same way and I think that's why we click. And when it does come down to house versus techno, maybe we'll do a vote in the chat. I'm house all day long with a little bit of like plus eight old
I
witch and
would
Cotton in there.
I would say I'm generally on the side of house, but again, it depends on the scenario. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of house that I think is maybe a bit vanilla or cookie cutter, like which is why like techno feels a little bit more creative and unique. But to
I
me,
like
it's
it.
always like at you know, depending on the situation, depending on the moment, like
For sure.
especially when I'm at parties, it's like I like both, and I like the creativeness, like somewhat like a DJ or an artist, you know, performing
Yeah.
can create with like a different like sound. It's they're both good to me. Like
I mean,
I don't like music wars
it's
or
like
genre
Unity and
wars.
Unreal, you know,
Yeah,
house
it's
or
just like
techno. It's there's something for everyone. There's a time and a place for everything, and
yeah.
we're truly a fluid team, you guys. So
Well, in the end, like it's the end result for like
yeah,
who's consuming. Is it
that's true.
a player like
Yeah,
you know playing a game or someone listening to and enjoying music? It's like it
yeah,
doesn't matter how you made it. Like, did
right.
someone enjoy it? Like that's all that matters.
And I think that that's the quote of the week. If doesn't matter how you made it, as long as somebody enjoys it, folks.
Yeah, who cares?
I love it. I love it. Well, we're keeping these quick. It is a vlog, and I have to thank Adam so much for helping us
Oh,
kick
my
off
pleasure.
episode 1, volume 1, indie dev and a side of music chat. But Adam, any closing words? Anything you'd like to say?
No, I mean, just if you're interested in game development, like don't worry about how you get there. Just you know, give it a shot, try it. Like maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. Either way is fine. Just like don't get bogged down in like thinking you have to produce a massive thing. Probably don't do an online 8-player game at first.
Hard tips there,
It's a
guys.
little bit rough when you don't have enough people on the team to test it. But no, just have fun with it. You know, there's no wrong way to approach it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Adam, for chatting tech and techno and all the good stuff. And I'm sure we'll see you on the vlog again,
Yeah,
since we're such a small team.
my
But
pleasure.
thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.